Hey, Miles Statham Grant here. Hope you're well, founder of Master Coach Training. Today, I want to talk to you about a concept that's really personal to my heart, and it's this concept of going dark. I watched a great video the other day, and the speaker was talking about going dark for 30 days, meaning having a complete switch off, ban of any social media contact, any sort of social media noise for a 30-day period. And it showed, how people's mental health is really being affected by this continuous feedback loop, this kind of mind stream of internal kind of white noise. I often hear clients say to me, oh, Miles, I'm not on social media. I don't watch social media. Sorry, I don't listen to the news. And then I say, how much time do you go on social media? And they can't tell me. And then I ask them to check their phone, because often the phone will tell you how long you've been on these platforms for, right? Digital well-being, I think Google are doing that, Apple are doing it as well. And they're shocked when they see that, they've been on Instagram, they've clicked on it, 37 times. They've maybe only been on it for 12 or 15 minutes, but 37 times over a 24-hour period, they've been on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it may be. And I want to kind of share with you something that's a little bit more personal that you might not know about me. But this past 12 months, if you're with me back in October 2022, you might have found me in the kitchen having a really bad argument with my wife, Sati. And one of the biggest issues that I was having at the time was I was really struggling to figure out why I was so angry. I was finding myself angrier than normal, taking it out on Sati. If not taking it out on Sati, I was taking it out on myself, kind of beating myself up, comparing myself, spending a lot of time on social media, and I was really unhappy. Probably one of the lowest times of my life since being homeless and sleeping in the back of my friend's gym back in 2012. And one of the great things about me and Sati is whenever we have a problem, something good always comes out of it. I think Tony Robbins talks about, hard times create strong people create good times. And out of that hard time, we grew, we became stronger. And one of the things I also find is when I have that type of thing going on, I immediately recognize, and I did back then in October last year, that I probably needed a period to completely just switch off from the world so that I could hear my internal inner voice and get to the root of what was really going on. You see, I don't think a lot of people spend enough time getting to the root of what's really going on. So they're unhappy and they think it's because of their job. They're unhappy and they think it's because their financial situation isn't the way they think it was meant to be at this juncture in their life. When if they had the space to really hear the voice inside of themselves, they might hear something different. Never forget, a year or so ago, I went to a silent retreat, and it was really powerful. And there were things that came up for me that day that were profound. The problem is I left the silent retreat and didn't bring in the habits from that retreat into my daily life, which is what brought me up to that juncture I'm speaking about, October 2022, of having a really bad row in the kitchen with Sati. And as I said, one of the key things for me is recognizing that, the problem was not the problem. There's a saying I love, which is the problem is often not the problem. The problem is the thing behind the problem. Yeah. So the surface would suggest that the problem was the argument with my wife, Sati. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the thing behind the problem. And the problem for me was I was emotionally unregulated. What do I mean by that? What I meant by that was there were still things inside of me that were unprocessed and that were unregulated. There were things from my childhood that were still open wounds, that were still tabs left open. And I say our mind is like a computer. And often we are going about our day with multiple tabs open. There were things that were triggering me that had nothing to do in actual reality. There were things that my mum was saying to me that were triggering me, but had nothing to do with this moment. They were things that I was relating back to being a child. And here's the thing, if you're watching this video and you're a coach or you're a wannabe coach, one of the biggest things that I believe that you must do is you must heal your past. If you've got stuff inside of you that needs healing, you must deal with that. If you're not going to do it for you, do it for your clients. Because if you don't, first and foremost, you'll struggle to get clients because people will sense that you're incongruent. Like, they'll sense that you're talking the talk, but you're not really walking the walk. I've been that coach. I've been that coach who looks great on the outside, the exterior is good, but on the inside, I was a mess. So back in October 2022, last year, I recognized something needed to change. And over the past 12 months, I have gone completely dark, like pretty much no social media presence whatsoever, and have been spending the past 12 months in a really, really intense form of therapy. And it's been powerful. Fast forward to literally 2 months in that therapy, and my relationship with Sati was the best it's ever been. Our intimacy was the best it's ever been. We got pregnant with baby Zen, who's now 4 months old at the time of doing this video. And my coaching, especially my coaching with the people I'm working with, is better than it's ever been. No longer am I putting on a facade. No longer am I pretending that I'm some perfect, idealistic life coach representation. Now I'm being real. Now I'm bringing to my sessions with my clients and saying, hey, this is what happened in my therapy session this week. This is what we spoke about. Because here's what I believe. You're coaching clients, if you're a coach, or whatever form of interventionist you are. If you're probably watching this, you probably are at some level. Whatever way of helping people that you have, you help people better by helping yourself. Remember that. You will help people better by helping yourself. In fact, a great quote that I love is, and you want to write this down, is you can only take the client as deep as you've been yourself. You can only take the client as deep as you've been yourself. What that means is, think about scuba diving instructors. They get what we call a PADI, right? They can only take people to the depths of the ocean at which they have the appropriate PADI. So if you want to take people deeper, if you want to transform people deeper, then you've got to go deeper on yourself. You can't take people any deeper than you've been yourself. If things still trigger you, if there are people in your life that still easily activate triggers inside of you, then you got to fix that. And by fix that, here's what I want to stress. I'm conscious of that I've just used a word that I don't usually tend to use without providing an explanation. I don't mean fix you, okay? I don't mean fix you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. You're perfect the way you are. But here's the danger with you're perfect the way you are, is that you stay in your comfort zone and you don't make a change. And I think a lot of people get too glazed over with that you're perfect the way you are. I'm guilty of saying it to Sage. And there's going to be a time where maybe that isn't an appropriate form of love for her anymore. So it's not about fixing you, but it is about being aware that there might be things inside of you that are unresolved, that are unregulated, and aren't properly healed. So instead of putting a band-aid over a problem, so, somebody in your life kind of pisses you off and you just kind of instead go and hang out with people that are more your people. I'm not saying go and spend more time with the people that piss you off, but I am saying it may be worth figuring out what the root is of that so that you can heal it, so that it doesn't go into your future. So, often I say, family members are often our biggest challenge, right? Parents, things like that. And I've been there where they've triggered me. And now I recognize it's not about them, it's about me. And actually, I owe it to myself to heal the wounds, because if I don't, then I'm incongruent as a coach. I'm not living the walk, right? I'm not, what's the saying? I'm not walking the walk, I'm talking the talk. I'm selling the Kool-Aid of coaching, but I'm not really drinking it myself. So remember that. Remember that. Work on yourself. Jim Rohn says, work on yourself. You create a great life. Work on your living. You create a great income, right? So you've got to do both. Don't just work on the marketing and the sales. Be working on yourself as well. Listen, I hope you found this video useful. If you have, subscribe to my channel and you'll get notified of when there's more videos. And feel free to share it if you found this really useful as well. I'll see you next time. Take care. God bless.